Hello, everybody. Welcome to lesson 4. I'm not going to do the numbers because I'm going to forget, and they're going to be irrelevant at some point because I'm going to keep making these videos. So, supplements. We're going to talk about kind of, do they matter? Are they a solution? Which ones are the real deals? Because a lot of them are rubbish, which is important to know. So, first of all, do supplements matter? Number one, they're a great supplement. Who would have thought? To a diet when needed, a great substitute when needed. Your nutritional makeup from whole foods is always going to be what counts most. Vegetables, fruits, all the different types of food that you eat. If you can get everything that you need micronutrition wise from a balanced diet, you should. If that is impossible, maybe you have dietary restrictions, maybe you have belief system like you're vegan, supplements become a little bit more helpful. And you can also, there are some that help with performance as well, which we can talk about a little bit later on. So supplements aren't a solution that you're looking for, number one, for to plug the hole, because number one, they're often tainted and they're poor quality. They're already expensive, yet let alone to get the ones that are really good, they're even more expensive. And they look at them for a quick fix. But that's where the supplement industry makes its quick buck in the marketing of supplements, like creatine, load up and maximum gains. No, it's not true. We'll talk about that in a minute, because there's very, very few supplements that actually make sense in a diet. And diet nutrition is like 97% of everything. So they're definitely not the solution, because a lot of them are shit. But what are the real deal supplements? Here's two here that are going to help with performance: creatine and caffeine. So I'm not going to go too sciencey, but creatine is basically attached to a phosphate molecule. Creatine phosphate. When that molecule breaks, it releases energy. It's usually that happens after about 45 seconds of ATP production. So if you have increased stores of creatine, you have increased phosphate molecules bound, which means that potentially there's more energy, there's potentially more capacity for work, there's potentially more capacity for hypertrophy. So creatine is something I recommend to everyone. Never load it. It's a waste of money. You'll just pee it out, because creatine saturates over time, not over like a week. It takes like 30 days to reach peak serum. So just 3 to 5 grams daily. Timing is not important at all. That's like the best recommendations across all the studies that we've looked across. Caffeine. So caffeine is a cool one where it actively increases force production. It reduces delay to exhaustion, also decreases the perception of exhaustion, which is crazy. So you actually can just do more directly from using caffeine, which is why there is a few limits on what you can use in some competitive sport. Actually, this shouldn't say aim to consume. This should be maximums. And trying to do it pre-workout. And of course, if you're in a place of time where you're trying to eat a lot of food, probably caffeine just stunts appetite a little bit, so I'd stay away from it. The reason why I say that you want to do this earlier on in the day is because there's a half-life of 3 to 9 hours, depending how fast you metabolize it. There are fast metabolizers, slow metabolizers. You can get a test for it, but it's a bit extreme. Basically, how much do you feel it 3 or 4 hours later? Is a really easy test. So you can imagine if you have a coffee at 5 p.m., at midnight, you might have still half the amount of caffeine in you. So we always encourage to use supplements that calm down the nervous system in the evening and ones that stimulate it in the morning. So move that to the morning if you can. Citrulline, malate, beta-alanine. These are two other ones that are for performance. So if you mix these two with the previous two, you've got a really, really good pre-workout. And funnily enough, you'll find those four in most pre-workouts. Citrulline malate is something that increases blood flow, which can increase work capacity. If you've got more blood flow, you've got more nutrients being delivered. We aim for about 6 to 8 grams per 1 hour pre-workout. Beta-alanine is that thing that gives you the little tingles. So if you don't like it and you hate it, don't have it. But it can make fatigue go down and metabolic work, end of your sessions. And we aim for about 3.2 grams. That's the clinical dose, but 3 to 5 grams per day on workouts. It also works in synergy with creatine to help just increase ability for overall training. So if you combine all of those things at once, you're in a really good position to actively increase your ability to train better. So it's always a good idea if you've got the budget. Now, ashwagandha can usually go one or two ways. It can make people feel unmotivated and tired, or it can just help people unwind. I think it just depends on what type of brain you've got. For me, I'm not a big fan of it, but for other people, it works really, really well because it can increase GABA, improve sleep, muscle mass, fat loss ultimately improves because you sleep better. Can decrease anxiety, calm the nervous system, lower cortisol, which when you're looking at fat loss, like cortisol can be a huge killer. There is a potential to gain a tolerance to it though, so we do try and aim to like put this in a phase, like a fat loss phase, or a phase where you're already struggling with anxiety or a bit too pepped up. You're busy at work. This could be a time to do it, for example. The final two now. Now, I usually put these into most of your plans you would have seen, or most people's plans, because not enough people get these from your diet. In general, it's very difficult to get enough both from your diet, especially with creatine as well. But omegas, because you need so much fatty fish to get enough. You want about 2 or 3 grams of a combination of EPA, DHEA. So just supplementing that seems to be the best thing to do to get enough in. Can increase cognitive function, decrease neuroinflammation, improve your cholesterol, reduce your triglycerides. It's a good time all around. It's a good thing to have in there. Same thing with vitamin D3. Like mix that with K2, you've got heart protection, you've got cholesterol support, testosterone support, you've got immune function. Again, much harder to get from the diet. So I'd definitely try and get that from a supplement if you could, and you can get some good ones. And also just looking at where the nutrition is from, look at Insight Supplements Limited.com. Obviously I'm sponsored by them, but like it helps because I know where all the products come from. They're all patented ingredients, they're all like really high working brands, so I recommend using them, and just 10 for discount, obviously. So let's summarize it, guys. Nutrition's priority always, but there is some merit when we look at like performance enhancing minimally. But also things like plugging the malnourishment in your diet, right? Vitamin D, creatine, omegas, things like that. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, fire them over in the chat, and we'll speak.